Now, I said last time that if I were going into medicine, I would go into the world of diabetes. And I want to maybe, most of you probably know this. This was new to me when I learned it, about why. How many of you have diabetics in your family? A lot, huh? Anyone in here diabetic? Are you type 1 or type 2?
Type 1.
Type 1. So you've had it for most of your life.
Yeah, since I was 12.
Do you do anything with it?
Just like take insulin shots. And
Daily?
yeah.
Do you?
I used to have to.
So, is anyone else in here diabetic?
I was.
But you're no longer.
I had gestational diabetes.
Oh,
And I poked myself every day.
yeah. Now I want to, when I learned this, and I learned this probably, 10 years ago, it explained to me why fat isn't the culprit, sugar is. And I want to walk you through this. It's not a hard thing to understand, but it's nonetheless really enlightening. I want you to pretend that you're at the movies. And of course, when you're at the movies, you have to get popcorn or you have to get licorice. Okay? Let's say you get a big bag of licorice. You know, the red kind, the yucky kind. Black's okay, but red is...
Ew. Black is not okay.
It is okay. So you're just unconsciously eating. Okay, can you picture this? And so we have, here's our guy watching the movie, and he's unconsciously eating licorice. Is licorice primarily protein, carbohydrate, or fat? Carbohydrate. Is it complex or simple carbs? It's simple. See, you guys, we don't need to go into all of the nutrients because you already know that. That's not a, that's, but I want to explain what happens when we do eat the highly processed, high glycemic from a different point of view. We just talked about what happens to the brain. It makes you gotta crave more. You go to the pantry and you have something and it's like, I know I shouldn't be having this. I know I shouldn't be having this. I know this is terrible for me. Isn't that funny? Well, it's because it's hijacking your choice making with that part of the brain. So anyway, here's what happens. So the guy's eating licorice. It goes down into the stomach. Now, if it's a simple sugar, does it stay in the stomach very long? No, it very quickly goes where next? Before it hits the bloodstream. It goes into the small intestines, right? So we've got, they're not listed here, they're not shown here, but we have, it goes into the small intestines, and if it's a simple sugar, if it's a processed food, where does it go next? Somebody just said it. The bloodstream, correct? Now, do you know what your blood sugar levels, are you familiar with like what you have to be lower than and above?
Yeah.
You know that, right? What are your numbers?
Like what range?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I usually try to keep it like 100 to like 180-ish.
100 to 180?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's pretend, so in other words, and what are you, 180 what?
Like 180.
180 what? What is 180 the measure? What's it measuring? 180, it's of what?
I mean,
It's sugar. It's measuring sugar levels, right? Blood sugar. That's what I made it harder than it. So you're looking at how much sugar's in there. 180, is it milligrams per deciliter or something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and it doesn't matter. You have to stay kind of in this range, right? That in order for you to function normally, correct? Now, let's say that you're eating this bag of licorice. Unconsciously, you're just downing it. Or one of those, I've seen people come with 2 things of popcorn. And they're done by halfway through the movie. They're not even aware that they're just powering away on. But licorice is probably more concentrated sugar. So let's say that you suddenly notice, if we were to measure you, and this might be 400 of blood sugar, glucose, right? What happens next? And you don't answer, because you know. What happens next when the blood sugar is suddenly way up here?
Then it's going to drop because it's not like sustainable. Like it's
How does it drop? So where does the insulin come from? And everyone pay close attention to this. This could be a game changer for you. So where does the insulin come from? Okay, so we've got the pancreas, which is this. Where's the pancreas? Right behind here, right? It gets a message. It's kind of like a barometer. As the blood sugar goes up, it's got insulin in it sitting there going, anytime that she has blood sugar too high, I'm just going to flood the bloodstream with insulin. Correct? So it goes out there and it just embraces all of these glucose molecules. And where does it take them?
inside the cell.
Inside what?
The cells.
What cells?
Apples.
It goes into fat cells. It has to take it somewhere, and where's our best storage tank? Fat cells. Wherever those are. It doesn't go into muscle, because the muscle's already got enough. Unless you're working out like crazy, and then it pulls it into the muscle while you're working out. Great. But since we tend to be sitting around more, we're not using that up, and so the muscle, it's got enough. Muscle glycogen, right? That's the sugar turned into sugar usable in the muscle. So it's still in the bloodstream, and the insulin goes, all right, I know what to do with this. I'm going to carry it over to the fat that's right here, or here, or here, or here, somewhere, but mostly in these, because you can almost have an unlimited supply of those. They'll either expand or reproduce fat as the insulin brings in this sugar into there. Does that make sense so far? That, to my mind, is the biggest cause of the obesity epidemic, is the constant flood of simple sugars that's making blood sugar go too high, and the insulin goes,